That's for the East County, Raymond, with Raymond Brown. I'm Ramon Scott. Welcome to the East County Football Report, a recap of the Week 3 action and a preview of Week 4. Raymond, I'm going to give another win to the East County. I'm going to put an asterisk on this one this week. There were some fortunate things that happened to the East County teams, and they took advantage, and that's what you have to do sometimes when there's a little bit of misfortune for your opponent. But it all worked out in the end. I'd say it was a pretty good week again for the East County, and you went out to a couple of games this week. We're going to preview them, but thank you for joining me again. One of the foremost experts in this county, I will just say it right now, Raymond Brown, sdfootball.net. Hello, my friend.
Hello, man. You're far too kind. But yes, man, the East County is rolling right now. Lots of great teams still undefeated. Lots of great matchups we still have to look forward to. I'm ready to get going, man.
Well, let's do it. You were out at a couple of games this week. We're going to feature your videography, your picking some games for us. You're hanging out with us in the East County this year, so we know you will follow the entire county. But maybe we just call up. We're going to start maybe on Thursday here with our report this week, and you went out to see those Valhalla Norsemen. You know why you did it? Because they deserve some love right now. Valhalla, Raymond, 2 wins for the Norsemen right now. Let's roll the highlights of this one, and you were out there, but we can narrate them together a little bit. But Valhalla, it's been quite a while since they've won back-to-back games. I think it was probably before the pandemic. I think it was in 2019, and they're going to have a chance to win 3 in a row this week. I won't put it in the win column yet. It's going to be tough. We'll preview it later. But I'm so happy for Valhalla right now. In a season full of interesting storylines for the East County, let's lead with Valhalla because they deserve some attention.
Yes, Valhalla, they had a kind of a slow start, as you can see here. Gave up a couple big plays on the first drive. But, as we're going to see on this next play,
what happened here?
They turned it around. Yes, it was a fumble return for a touchdown. Jalen Cruz going 99 yards to the house. But there's probably a bit of controversy, a bit of questionability on this play, whether the quarterback got in or not. I talked to Coach about it. We'll hear what he had to say about it later on. But yeah, that play right there changed the whole momentum of the game, in my opinion, man. Fast start for San Ysidro. Valhalla took advantage, turned it into points, flipped the script on them. And from there on, man, it was the running game for Valhalla. Jalen Cruz had a great game. That return we just saw, he also had a rushing touchdown that we're going to see later. Great pass right there.
Trevor Jarbo right there, Raymond.
Yes, sir.
I believe. Yeah, Silva, 254 yards rushing this week for Dominic, 19 carries, 3 touchdowns. I don't know, Ray, I'll cut you a little bit of slack on that. I would have, given San Ysidro, it's still a 34-point game. You'd like to get that extra score. Hey, I would have probably liked to see in San Ysidro if I would have known it was going to be a 5-touchdown victory. Maybe I would have liked to have seen nothing against the great play there by Cruz. Not only the 99-yard fumble return, a dream play you'll remember your entire life. Raymond, what's this one?
Yeah, man, San Ysidro making a long play right there. That's going to set up their touchdown right here. San Ysidro, man, I got to give them love. Not only do they have a beautiful campus, beautiful atmosphere, this team has a lot of fight, man. They didn't give up the whole game. One thing that impressed me, Dominic Silva, he had 2 long runs. Both of those runs could have been touchdowns, but they did not give up on the play. Here's one of them right here. You look at that, man. Dominic Silva, excellent running back. He could take that all the way to the house. But as you can see, the defender did not give up on the play. He stuck with him. Great hustle, man. I was very impressed. But Dominic Silva, of course, he finished the job. He had 3 touchdowns on this play. In this game. Yeah, man, great win for Valhalla. 2 wins in a row. one thing they need to do, clean up the turnovers. They had like 3 turnovers in the first half. They had a turnover on the opening kickoff. That's one thing they were really upset about, even though the score was a blowout. They were not happy about all the turnovers they were getting. Here's another play that should have went to the house, but there is no quit in San Ysidro. So they had to get it on the next play, of course. But yeah, man, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Valhalla. They're gonna have to clean up the turnovers because they got some tough games ahead of them. Now, San Ysidro shot them some bell. Teams like Steel Canyon, they got Mount Miguel coming up. You know, they got Grossmont coming up. They're gonna clean it up.
It's getting way better. We're improving every week. We're making a few mistakes, but we're learning every practice. We're getting better every single day.
Definitely not. Yeah, that's what I talked about the team with at halftime. We had 3 turnovers in the first half, and it's not clean enough. The final score's gonna look good, but we should have been a lot more cleaner on offense and defense. So we'll fine tune it this week.
O-line, we had great blocks by the up backs, wings, but still not good enough. We made a few mistakes, but we're getting ready for next week, and the next week's coming.
So first drive, man, they go all the way to the goal line, and you take it back, pick it up, go to the house. Can you talk about that play?
Honestly, it was a little bit of luck, a little bit of awareness. I had my friend Ryan Mwangi. He was screaming, Jalen, ball. And that's how I was able to get it.
That was the key to the game early. You know, we got bailed out. I think he scored. I thought he hit the pylon, but they didn't call it in, and then we get bailed out. He dropped the ball on the goal line, and Jalen Cruz picked it up and did what he was supposed to do. So that was a big momentum swing.
Keep doing what we're doing. Like I said, keep getting better every single day, fixing the mistakes, ball security, high and tight, double up, like Coach Taylor says every day.
Yeah, the O-line's been grinding. We're still young up front. We're starting just 2 seniors and a couple sophomores up there, but they've been working their tail off since early January as a unit, becoming a real unit and loving each other as teammates. And Silva's a load, and we're gonna continue to rock with him. You know.
Definitely the line, team chemistry, all that, but definitely need more improvement, and we're getting ready to do that.
Yeah, I'm preaching to these guys all the time. Like, we did what we're supposed to do tonight. We did what we were supposed to do last week. We fell short against Hilltop. We should beat those guys too. But the schedule, we got a tough stretch coming up. We still play a couple D2 teams and a D3 team, and they're no joke, So we got to clean it up offensively, defensively, special teams, and.
All right, Raymond, great job there. We'll mention for Cruz, not only the fumble return, also a sack. Brandon Doctor had a sack as well. Estes threw that touchdown pass to Jarbo. So Valhalla with the win. You mentioned San Ysidro. Just to make note, they're going to play another East County team this week. We'll preview it, but just want to mention they will play Monta Vista. And Monta Vista's playing some pretty decent ball. I would think that looks to be, to me, like a very competitive game this week, Monta Vista at San Ysidro. Great job. Anything else with the Norsemen? Because, look, I'm not going to be too critical. It was interesting to see Coach Cherry say that was there a play? So it wasn't that play that that there was a play prior that a man ran to the pylon and the ball hit the pylon?
It was a touchdown play. He thought the quarterback had got in before he fumbled. And I guess the refs missed it, and that's when Jalen Cruz picked it up and ran it back. Coach thought that the quarterback had got in, so it was a quarterback sneak. Those two big plays at the beginning set up that goal line play, and that changed the entire momentum of the game. Instead of San Ysidro going up 7-0, it was Valhalla going up 7-0. Right. So that could be demoralizing.
It can. I don't know. Look, could have been. Raymond, it was a 34-point game. I mean, I don't want to. I want to give Valhalla their good. I mean, could it have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said you're not going to get away with 4 turnovers against these some of these teams coming up. So I hope they can clean that up, and we're going to see some good football out of this team this year.
Great, and look, good luck next week against the Monarchs, and that's a team the Monarchs could beat. I don't know. Sounds like a toss-up to me. We'll get to the preview.
It's going to be a fight, man. San Ysidro, despite the score, I know it's hard to say looking at that score, but San Ysidro got some fighters out there.
Yeah, both those teams are going to go into this week's game thinking they can beat each other. All right. We don't have too much on this game this week. I didn't hear from the Wolfpack this week. but obviously an exciting game. And I saw the game-winning play on Facebook, kind of like that's where they put their highlights so Grandma can see them. Anyways, West Hills gets the win, 7-3 over Vista. Kyler Oberg touchdown reception. This is exciting. Sophomore Oberg, he's got that West Hills football name. He caught the pass from Hamilton. Oberg has 4 receptions for 64 yards and the big touchdown. Kevin White with a sack leads that West Hills defense against Vista. I don't want to say it, Raymond. West Hills has a good, very, very good defense for their level, but and I don't want to, get the Pack fans upset. This right now, it's a win, and it's a typical Wolfpack win, 7-3. You wish it was more, but it is what it is.
Yeah, win is a win, man. They was just glad to get out of Vista with the dub, going back to East County. What are they? They're 2-1, or are they undefeated still?
West Hills is now 3-0. So
3-0. Okay, so
yeah, I mean that's
three hard-fought wins. They grinding them out.
A little underrated, like they're getting passed over a little bit because they're they're consistent winners over there, right? And they're off to a 3-0 start. But we've got, like I said, things are rolling pretty okay here in the East County. So I don't want to slight them too much. This was a tough game. I mean, they were trailing that game, 3-0, and needed this big play, Hamilton to Oberg. It was a long touchdown.
Okay, yeah, I like the way West Hills is playing. It should be a better result next week. Should see more points. I don't think it's going to be 7-3 next week. But shout out to Vista, man. They were winless last year. They seem to be playing better, even though they haven't gotten that win yet. They seem to be improving.
I like to some of these North County teams battling back a little bit. The Pirates, certainly, and the Panthers. I mean, traditional powers. It's hard to swallow that they're not as good as they used to be. But West Hills, we'll get to them in just a moment as well. We definitely want to highlight that game. It just doesn't have too much with the Wolfpack. Diego Calderon caught a pair of passes. They rushed for just 42 yards. So looks like there were some sacks, and looks like Vista got to the quarterback a little bit when they were throwing. I see some negative yardage there just going off the internet stats here. So West Hills with the win, 3-0. That's where we're going with the Thursday games first here as well. So that's why you're seeing we got some games to talk about still, Raymond. How about though the Mount Miguel Matadors? I don't want to say it's boring to talk about Mount Miguel anymore. It's never boring with this team right now, but they took care of Montgomery. Look, I gave Montgomery a chance. I think you gave him a chance to hang in there. I think we were solid on Mount Miguel, but some of the other comments we saw would be Mount Miguel would paste the Aztecs, and they did just that. So 40-0 here. Presley 134 yards. Castillo 3 touchdowns. What do you know about this one this week?
Yeah, this is Montgomery's D3, so a blowout win over a D3 school is a great look. Like you said, Caprice Presley rushed for over 130 yards and a touchdown. All the talented players, the player that don't get talked about enough is Davion McGowan. He's great on both sides of the ball. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. He had a pick 6. So that's a name that we're going to be hearing a lot more of in the midst of all these great players, that we talk about on this Mount Miguel squad. But Mount Miguel's rolling so far, so good. 3-0. I think there's 40 points, their lowest point total of the year.
We'll get the previews. I can't wait to see what happens this week with the Matadors, but they continue to roll. Presley, I don't know if it was this week or last week. I was knocked a little bit from play. I don't think it was this. Hopefully it was last week's game, but I know he was nicked up a little bit, obviously, 134 yards, a nice game for him there. But you were on this week with the guys at Prep Insider talking about the Matadors. Raymond, it's something you and I kind of already covered, I think, on our previous shows with the Matadors. Maybe you were just reiterating with the guys over there. But given the situation with Coach V, the position that the Matadors have been in because of their, I don't say lack of success. They've had some exciting teams, but again, the growth in numbers. I mean, this is a team that legitimately can have some. You talk to. I want to say the headline. Maybe you could. I know that Mr. Seephead probably wrote it, but kind of almost crowning the Matadors division champs. I'm sure they confidently feel that way, but they don't want to have get ahead of themselves too much. How much of an advantage does Mount Miguel have over the rest of the division right now in the section?
Yeah, I honestly don't see any competition in that division. No disrespect to those who are in it, but the way Mount Miguel is playing, they look more like they belong in Division 2 or Division 1. But I've heard some rumblings about them moving up to division, like moving up divisions, because I guess it's not fair to have them in Division 4. But I don't know, man.
Not in the middle of the season, right? That's not something.
No, not in the middle. Like after the season, like they evaluating
sure.
the playoffs or something.
Oh no, for sure. Well, I mean, that's how it works, right? I mean, every year, they're gonna. Could this Mount Miguel team, now they're a public school, Mater Dei Catholic is, a private. Could Mount Miguel see the same type of trajectory long term like a Mater Dei Catholic? Could we be seeing Mount Miguel be a top 10 team in the next year or two? Are they there with the? Are they going to get look? Helix, Granite Hill. That's one thing. I mean, they're still in the Valley League. They've got all these tough Valley teams. They've got to play these guys still. They got to play LCAP. Let's just face it. But is that the direction the program is headed? I know they want to confidently feel that way.
Yeah, I think the ceiling is unlimited for this program. I was halfway joking about them moving up to D1, but they've had 2 D4 teams, 1 D3. So I think I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just basking in the glory of what I'm seeing on the football field and what their potential can be. I would like to see how they match up against the D1 and D2s, but right now I think they should just keep going with what they have, just because it's still early in their development. You know what I'm saying? They're coming off a losing season. This is Coach V is sort of rebuilding, sort of seeing what he has. It's still early. So I don't know, man. It's easy to sit up and hype them up and stuff. I don't want to hype them up too early, but I am excited about what I see from this team and how far they can actually go.
I watched some of it until the game got a little bit out of hand. I was checking out some of the other games, but I sure would like to see the defensive statistics for the Matadors. I mean, in that game against Montgomery. Hopefully, they were keeping some stats, but there was nothing online. But I don't want to discredit the defense here. They pitched a shutout, so great job, Matadors.
Now, their defense is just as good as their offense. That's where I think that's what I'm excited about. Their defense is swarming all over the field. They got guys playing both ways, making plays on offense and defense. So that's what's scary about them.
And I'm not sitting here trying to compare Mount Miguel to Modern, 2 different situations entirely, but it's just remember Mater Dei was in that, but they were the team, right? Just a few years ago.
Mater Dei was not a D3 school.
Right. That's what I'm getting at, right?
And we saw it.
Yeah. And then right. And so what happens with some of these teams, like the Braves, the Braves, I don't want to, we'll talk about them, but they're like a, down low state title contender just because of the situation that they're in. They can be in because of the level of play. It would take a run or whatever, but when you're down, that's just the way it works. You build up, and look where Mount Miguel has been, because they've been 500 team below 500. They beat some non-conference teams, but all right. We'll talk about them a little more in just a little bit. Hey, how about another shutout for the East County, beating Coronado 18-0. We don't get much. Santana, they don't like to share their stats, but I do know this. They held Coronado to minus 25 yards rushing and had 3 interceptions. So great job by the defense here in this one, Raymond, a shutout of the Islanders. I attended the game last season when Coronado was at Santana. A lot of defense, or lack of offense maybe, but the defense ruled here, shutout.
Yeah, a huge game for Santana. Coronado got some athletes on that offense, so to hold them down to a goose egg is big. Lyndon Benson, he's one of my favorite runners this year. He rushed for 140, had a touchdown. I love the way that kid runs the rock, man. I'm happy for Santana, man. 3-0, off to a great start. Let's keep it going.
Trent Taylor also with a touchdown for Santana. They held Coronado to just 50 yards of total offense, and that's according to the Coronado statistics. That's what they entered in. So, you're not going to fudge. And
I'll take their word for it.
They're pretty upstanding over there on the island. So I'm sure coach is, going to be working them harder a little bit this week. But Santana, nice job. Impressive victory here, 18-0. Another win as, the East County got the sweep, Raymond, on Thursday. So how did it go on Friday? Let's gonna roll some more highlights with Raymond, and we'll have Raymond talk us through the next game here because it was the big feature of the week. Raymond, no doubt about it. We're at Mesa College for this one, and I think we'll let you kind of maybe describe the way the game went. I kind of teased it a little bit how the game kind of went, but I'm fiddling around in the background here. I want to get your highlights, Trent. Here we come.
Yeah, this was one of the more competitive games I've been to this year, probably the most competitive. And I expected this to be a very competitive game. Freshman Benitez, he played great, man. Really matured this game. Really matured. Pressure situation. But you got to give credit to St. Augustine, the way they played, especially with their quarterback out, Brady Palmer. They had to resort to a wing T, sort of Wildcat type of offense. Speaking of Wildcat, Pablo Jackson, 2 touchdowns from the Wildcat position. Him and Maxwell Turner running the ball great. One of the best duels in the county. William Flores from St. Augustine had an amazing game. He had to step up big time, only a freshman. I think he had well over 200 yards, had a touchdown or 2. Yeah, this was a fun game. Came down to the wire, as we'll see at the end. The story here is how St. Augustine hung in there. I mean, this is still a young team. Bunch of freshmen and sophomores. I think there's a couple of seniors on this team. I was very impressed. Another player I was impressed with.
Benitez.
I'm drawing a blank here.
Go ahead.
The wide receiver, number 2, drawing a blank, but he was great.
Brendan Lewis. Well, here's the thing about
Brendan Lewis.
Lewis. He's been kind of one of the breakout stars, I would say, in the East County this season. I think what we've seen, Benitez notwithstanding, with freshmen. I mean, he's like a big-time newcomer, of course, but there's Lewis. If I had to pick one kind of breakout star of the East County so far this season, for me, it would have to be Lewis.
Absolutely. I love how he played. He had a great game. Had a fake punt for a first down. He came up big.
There's an unfortunate interception of Benitez. It looked like bounced out of a guy's grasp there a little bit. Benitez, 209 yards and a touchdown. You mentioned it, 20 of 29. Imagine having your freshman quarterback throw 30 passes, including, and we'll get to it. I don't want to spoiler alert. I mean, the score is right there on the screen, my friend, but 4 for 4 on that final drive that started with 2:37 to play and capped by the touchdown to Turner that we'll see momentarily as we get down here. There you see the action, but take a look here with another score. So there it is, Turner with that touchdown, 24 seconds left.
That was
Raymond,
on 4th down.
Yeah, and then the last second field goal attempt. Look at this. Raymond, where'd it go? It looks like, oh my gosh.
Wide right.
Oh, Flores. You said over.
23 carries. I'm sorry.
Let's get the. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Let's get that.
20 carries for 123 yards.
Well, we had to finish strong.
Yeah.
So we did. Our offensive line And we all together just played harder than we need to.
Honestly,
Want to hear Turner
I just
again?
my mind.
Looking back.
We passed it because we just kept playing ball. You know, we may have came out like a little weak, but we had to finish strong, and that's what we did. Our offensive line pulled through when we needed to, and we all together just played harder than we needed to.
Honestly, I just cleared my mind that play. Didn't let anything get to my mind. Coach gave me the opportunity to call which play I wanted, so I had to go with that play. And my running back Max was able to get open. I was able to execute that play.
We were talking about what play do you think that would work the best, and we said Sauce. Our quarterback had trust in me, and I had trust in the quarterback. Our line held the block good, and we just had to play it like it was a first down.
I've never been anything through like this, but I mean, it's what gets me motivated, honestly. Just hearing the crowd go wild, everything, the whole team gets crazy.
On that final play, let me tell you something. Max don't really got that much hands. So when he caught that ball, I was like, thank you, Lord Jesus Christ, man. Because if he would have dropped that, I would have been crying.
I mean, he's cool, calm, collected. It was just, take what they're giving us. We don't need to get it all in one play. If they're going to continue to sit in, bracket coverage, take it. At the end of the game, when it's starting to run down and they gave us a 5-man box, put us into the right run play, and we got a little 11-yard gain. So just his IQ is super high for a freshman. Does a great job, accurate with the ball and good decision making. So excited to see his future and hopefully be able to build from this.
This is a good game, but we could be much better. This is not us at our best. We got to fix some little things, and as soon as we see that, you'll see us win and open.
All right, I've got questions. I'm cracking. Okay, first of all, Kellen Cobbs just told his freshman quarterback to make the call. You go make the call. That's showing a tremendous confidence, tremendous IQ from the young man. I've already said, and you can see from the interview there. I mean, listen, did you hear his quote? He said, I've never been through anything like this. He's up against this Saints team, and I have them at number 9. They might even be better. We're kind of talking, there's freshmen, sophomores. I already said, hey, Saints are back. Forget about it. This game proved it. 2 East County games, Raymond, have the same script this week. The next game we're going to talk about, same script. So you tell me, would Brady Palmer have made the difference in this game?
I can't tell you. But I do know whatever adjustments St. Augustine made, it worked. It worked out fine for him. Coach Gladnick, he's used to that play. He ran those plays at Torrey Pines. So yeah, man, you got to give them credit, but you also got to give credit to Granite Hill, especially the freshman quarterback, for stepping up in that situation. One last play, 4th down, do or die. And for some, it wasn't always the players with lack of hands that catches the game-winning touchdown.
That was another thing.
I'll see that in the pros, the college, and everything.
We're gonna have to, we're gonna have to call him out a little bit. I mean, come on, you can't do that to your teammate.
I think Max Turner got great hands. I've never seen him drop a ball or nothing, but yeah.
I'm gonna. I don't know that they probably have seen that video, so I'm sure Pablo's already given Max a hard time. But hey, Pablo, maybe you should throw Max some passes. Make sure he gets those hands going, and remember Jerry Rice? He always was carry those bricks around. So you had that on the graphic. 11 straight wins for the Eagles. I'm going to not correct you. You were right. I mean, it was a rush for 192 yards as a team, 42 carries. It does feel like, Palmer's one of the best quarterbacks, I think, in the county. Not detracted. Eagles went on the road, won this game, Saints touchdown. Also, we talked about Haston, a former Eagle. He had a 10-yard reception from Alave Johnson there. Lewis, you mentioned, he finished with 10 receptions for 119 yards. Game of the week. Great job, Raymond. Pablo Jackson, 2 touchdowns in this one. They got the win. Like I said, Palmer going down to me is a big deal, but you still got to persevere. Win on the road. Robert Petrich, 41-yard field goal. Definitely one of the top kickers in the county, and they needed those 3 points. That's even though it was a touchdown, they obviously needed that 3 points, and he's been clutch for him in his career so far. So we got several good kickers in the East County, but this guy's one of the best in the county. So Eagles win. Great job, Raymond. All right. Same script here now, Raymond. El Capitan. They came back to beat La Jolla. and the Vikings quarterback goes down early in the game after La Jolla had built a big lead. La Jolla looked like they were on their way to victory. In fact, Coach Berner told the Union Tribune I think he said they were kicking our butt or something to that effect. When the quarterback went down, it was a big deal. But again, you're at home in this one, so a little bit different. But El Cap able to rally with a great effort, great performance. I do think the injury was a major factor in this game, but when you are the recipient of some good fortune, you must take advantage. El Capitan did show that they could be clutch in the end with the way they came back.
Yes, I believe La Jolla led 21-0. Man, they got off to a hot start, and El Cap, scored 20 unanswered points in the fourth quarter after blocking a punt. Man, what a clutch performance by El Cap. Julian May, 2 touchdown runs. Brant Barker's continuing his great play with a rushing touchdown, had a 45-yard touchdown pass. Chesla Chopper had 6 catches for 112 yards and a touchdown. Excellent, gutsy performance by El Cap. It's tough to come back against a La Jolla team. I know their quarterback went out, but Carson Deal, the quarterback's brother, he went off. Yeah. He had a great game too. He had like 8 catches for over 100 yards and some scores. So very gutsy performance from El Capitan. It should get them prepared for what they got coming up.
Yeah, it was, Jackson Deal, I think certainly is one of the better quarterbacks, I think, in the county, and has only been getting better, really. I mean, he's a senior now, but Hudson Smith came in and did a nice job as well, but they were more limited in what Smith could do, right? I mean, they're more of a short pass, more short passes, I think, there. But the thing with Deal is he can run, and he can run fast, and he had that long 54-yard touchdown early in the game to give him the lead. Barker was just 13 of 30, 242 yards, and the touchdown to La Chapa, who caught 6 passes for 112 yards. Did have 3 interceptions. That continues to be a little bit of a bugaboo. I'm sure they know they don't need me to sit here on YouTube and tell them about gotta get these interceptions taken care of a little bit, especially against good teams like La Jolla. Remember, we're still in an epic run for these Vikings. I mean, they've never been this good until the last couple. Well, I'm not dating back to when. I'm just saying the resurgence of the Vikings over the last several seasons to become a good program again, where we want to see the tradition of the Vikings back. But give El Cap credit. Julian May actually was also a big star in this game with 2 rushing touchdowns as well. Barker rushed for a touchdown, but El Cap gets it done. Sean Hayes also a sack in this one. El Cap, big win, and they're on a roll still. And this is my rankings before last week's game, and we'll go over the poll. I'll say it now because we'll talk about the polls, but here's how I scored it, Raymond, because I'm going all the way down. And I know that El Cap is in that UT poll now already up there, but getting a few votes or some attention. El Cap, I had number 19 going into the week. La Jolla had number 16. El Cap wins by 3 at home. After the quarterback goes down, I'm still going to keep La Jolla just 1 notch ahead of the Vaqueros. I'm not keeping standings here. I'm trying to keep a poll. El Cap wins fair and square. And, well, a little bit of bias. I like El Cap better than I like La Jolla, but that's just my job. All right. Raymond, we have to wait till like the 6th or 7th game to talk about the El Cajon Valley Braves. I feel bad because this continues to be an awesome. It's just awesome every week, but it just seems to get better every week. Going on the road and beating Vincent Memorial, 28 in clutch fashion, like they did. The Braves, Derek Dubose, we already kind of a good leader, a good I don't want to say game manager at a high school level. That's a compliment. But Dubose, incredible game, really. 118 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. He also threw for a touchdown. Paris Dixon ran for one, caught one. They go on the road to beat the Scots. I'm sure it just feels like another win to the Braves. To me, it feels like I just want to say they did it again.
Yeah, man. The Braves are playing good ball right now. To go to the Imperial Valley and pick up a gutsy win like that, that's big for that program as they try to turn things around. Derek DeBose has been doing everything from on air and ground, over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns rushing to go with a touchdown pass. I like what this team is doing. I like where they're going. I hope to see them do better in league play. It's only going to get harder from here. The Valley is stacked right now. It's usually Grossmont Hills is obviously stacked, but the Valley is stacked this year. So these are some great games, some great wins to get them prepared for what's coming up.
Yeah, and they've had success. To me, Raymond, I think the Braves have turned it around, given the level that they're at and the success that they've had over the last season and a half. I believe they're in the position that they have earned with Coach Osborne and his incredible leadership there. But to me, I want to mention this. I mentioned Joe Johnson last week having been injured, and I wasn't sure. Remember, I said that he looked to be seriously injured. The ambulance needed to come. His dad reached out to me or left a note anyway on Facebook, just saying thank you, and that he suffered a broken leg. So shout out to Joe. Probably going to miss you this season, your senior year, but you're a part of this team, and I don't know, season's long. How bad of a break is it? If we go to the playoffs, can you get there, Joe? Just heal up and get ready. Want to credit Masai Alasa. Let me get that right. Masai Asan. That's the second week in a row I'm going to get this right. By the time the season's over, I better say it right. Masai with 93 yards rushing on 22 carries. Dixon's touchdown run was a 38-yarder. Dixon was already, all East County first team player last year. The Braves, kind of sparse as far as how many players ever make that list, but Paris is going to make it again for sure. This season is one of the best players in the East County, and the Braves as a whole just have a feeling it's going to be a magical season. Like I said, in their level, as good as this team is, they can win a section. They can win a section title, and they could win a playoff game beyond that as well. I do believe, because of the division that they're in. It hurts to lose a guy like Johnson, who was kind of running very similar to those last couple of El Cajon backs that had such great seasons. And lucky they got a good guy here. They were actually running a little bit of a tandem. I think Johnson was getting the majority of the carries, but Asan, also a senior, was also there, but he's getting the workload now. All right. Good job, Braves. Well, it didn't all go perfect. It was going just fine. I mean, it looked like it was going to be another, more rah East County Ramon Grossmont going and beating a recent section champion, a good opponent to have, really, considering what Grossmont needs right now, to get a team like this that, they can beat. But they built a big lead. And I don't know, maybe Mr. Lawrence, Coach Lawrence, would tell us if he was a little bit overmatched in the game, if you will. His players, I'm sure, did fine. The defense, we already know, in some scenarios like this, and they end up losing this lead, Raymond, and losing the game to a good program that maybe is not as good as when they won that title, but still a good program. But if you're Grossmont, it feels like this one got away.
Yeah, Grossmont got off to a good start. I think they were up 16-0, but that offensive PVV is amazing. It's just basic. It's student body left, student body right. We might run up the middle. We might pass a couple of times. Well, they only attempted 3 passes, so it was all running. 68 rushing attempts, 428 yards, and 5 touchdowns as an entire team. Juaniel Fernandez had an amazing game, 182 yards and 3 touchdowns on 27 carries, had a 50-yard touchdown run. They just played physical smash mouth football, and it was too much for Grossmont to keep up with. I thought I was wrong about this game, just like most people, but yeah, they showed us why they're back-to-back CIF champions. That is a tough offense to stop. They're just grinding it. That offensive line was amazing, just pushing the pile down the field. They're going to be tough this year. They're gonna surprise some people in D3. They could probably win a third straight if they keep this going. So I was very impressed with the way the Yellow Jackets played, and I was also impressed with the way Grossmont hung in there, man. Josh Ferrara, one of the best safeties in the county. He had a touchdown catch on offense. He led the team in tackles with 20, had a forced fumble. He's currently leading the entire section in tackles as a safety. He's second in interceptions with 4 for the season. So Josh Ferrara played great. Hudson Herbert played great in a losing effort, had over 300 total yards, 2 touchdown passes. He's second in passing in the county. So this is still a good team, man. They just saw an offense they probably wasn't used to seeing. You don't see an offense like this every week. And they got caught slipping. So they're going to have to pick it up because Mount Miguel's coming.
Yeah, they didn't break down the tackles on the Grossmont stats, so I'm sure there were plenty of assists. They did list Ferrara with 20 stops. Sure, the way they were running the ball, there was some gang tackling going on, but Ferrara stands out because of his aggressiveness to the ball. So I also listed the senior Walter Jackson with 17 tackles. So I'm sure there are some assists in there. Both players Ferrara forced and recovered a fumble, as did junior Will Gaines, and Ferrara the touchdown. Cody Bigley, another touchdown as well. But Grossmont slips in this one. Okay, well, they'll get it back. I'm sure it wasn't feeling great to go to school on Monday after that one. All right, yeah, man, that was tough, especially that long touchdown. Okay, here we go. Corona ends up beating Monte Vista in really one of the games of the week. It was a little bit under the radar here, Raymond, but I was watching it on the NFHS broadcast there. So I think Monte Vista would like to have this one back as well. They definitely had a chance to win. Didn't hear too much from the Monarchs on this one, but they did suffer a loss here to Corona. This is Corona, California, not Corona Centennial or anything like that. But go ahead.
Or Corona with lime.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Shout out Jimmy Buffett.
Another tough loss for Monte Vista. I believe they're getting close to a score record losing streak. So hopefully they can turn it around next week. Brandon Andrus had 3 touchdowns in a losing effort. I want to see this Monte Vista team win. I want to see them end that losing streak. We expect better from Monte Vista. I remember the old teams they had back when I was in high school. They used to be one of the top teams. So this is pretty sad to see. And they have a great coach. I don't think this is on the coach. I think this is just the state of their program right now. So, yeah, man, tough loss. But they're going to have a chance next week. Hopefully we see some better results.
No, that's why I said it like I did about going in to play San Ysidro. I know that I know what you're saying because we don't want to accentuate it too much. It's 12 straight losses now, for the Monarchs. But look, last year they lost to Kearney by 14. This year they lost to Kearney by 2. Losing to Vincent Memorial. We just saw the Braves, like I said, beat Vincent Memorial on the road. Monte Vista was in that game at home against Vincent Memorial, and then Vincent Memorial got the 2 late scores kind of to pull away in a good game, and losing to 3 to an out of section team. I'm bummed that we have a 12-game losing streak, but I know that Coach Hamamoto can tell these guys better than I can that they've done okay this season. Despite this 0-3 record, every game they've been in it. They've been competitive. They've been in every game in the fourth quarter. They've been in every game in the second half of the fourth quarter. So next week they're going to play that San Ysidro team that, look, last year when Monte Vista played Valhalla in that final game, Valhalla got the best of them. It was Valhalla's only win, 22-14. Valhalla went on the road, won that game this week, as we pointed out, 41-7. So I would think that Monte Vista is live here, even on the road, against San Ysidro. And I think if they just, play a solid game, they'll be in the game. They'll be in the game. I have no doubt. Now, whether or not they can, get that win, let's hope they can. But that's what we'll.
San Ysidro has a lot of fight in them, so it's not going to be easy. They're going to have to go down there and earn that win. But I wish them the best of luck.
Okay, Raymond, start to look at some of the good teams around the county, too, as we talk about this one with San Marcos. Number 15, I don't know, maybe they're underrated a little bit, but there's a lot of good teams this year. They beat Steel Canyon soundly, 33-6. Maybe a little bit of a difficult opponent here for Steel, given where they need to be right now. San Marcos, the Knights with the win here.
Another tough game for Steel Canyon. San Marcos, they're just rolling right now. Their quarterback, Creek McAhelly, he's having another fantastic season. He had 5 touchdown passes. Jason Nix is killing it. He had 3 touchdown catches. That's a deadly combination that's going to give teams a lot of problems, especially going into Avocado League play. I don't have much to say on Steel Canyon. I hope they get it together. But like I said before, and I'm going to keep on saying it, I respect Steel Canyon for their scheduling, because there's a lot of teams out there, they'll put up these great stats and they'll be like 5-0, but it'd be against like bad teams. Like they don't schedule good opponents. They just want to boost their stats against weak competition. And Steel Canyon, they put themselves in a position to be competitive, and you got to respect that. Now the results ain't showing the way they want them to, but you gotta respect the effort, and you gotta respect that they want to be competitive.
McAhelly, 5 touchdowns. Sablon had a rushing touchdown for Steel Canyon. Okay, just a couple scores I'll just run by here, Raymond. We don't need to talk about them too much here. I did talk about Holtville. This is the big rivalry game for Mountain Empire, and they were a bit overmatched here in this one. Final score 45-8. Isaac Gonzalez, 129 yards of total offense. Drew Reed, 12 tackles, but the Red Hawks on the short end of this one. And I'll also mention another game on Friday night here, Foothills Christian. Raymond, I told you in that game that I was surprised with their performance against California School of the Deaf, making a good showing against them, and they came back against Windward this week and won. It was Ben Hernandez with 200 yards of total offense, but the new star for the Foothills Knights, I don't know if you caught his clip of his highlight, Cameron Brown. This guy's a real nice running back. If you saw him motoring down the sidelines, I think the Prep Insider caught that video. Brown, 175 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also, senior Logan Hamilton had a touchdown reception in the game, and the Knights beat Windward 34-20. Okay.
Cameron Brown's one of my players of the week. He had a great game.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah,
we'll cover those here. Get through the show and get to the previews. But man, I feel like we're going to Saturday. I'm not burying my Highlanders just yet, even though I have them ranked lower than any other. I don't know. I'm probably not an expert if I've got them 8th, but they're going to get a big chance, we know, this week to prove it. Here against Red Mountain of Arizona, right? 30-22. The final here. Red Mountain comes in with a pretty good team, but Helix looks great again. Getting the victory here, Raymond.
Yes, Helix looked amazing. Strong defense. They have 5 sacks, forced a fumble. Kevin Allen, the third, is amazing. He's one of the best athletes in the county right now. He's having a great year. Jaira Sevey, No,
Savianea.
Savania.
I don't. I might not
Savania.
be right either, but
Savania.
Savianea.
I'm bad. Sorry.
The family.
Sorry
They
about the
got
bad
two
pronunciation.
Savianeas, so they got Savianea
He played
1 and
great.
Savianea twins.
Yeah, he had a big hit that forced a fumble. So he was amazing. Great game by Ryland Jesse. Had 198 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jackson Daniels is playing amazing at wide receiver. 8 catches for 102 yards. Helix is helixing right now. That's the best I can say. Helix is helixing, and we're gonna see some great games from them down the line.
Right, and I always say like I'm Mr. Helix, whatever. But when you have such expectations year in and year out, I don't know. I guess I'm one of those with those green glasses, thinking that everything's going to be fine. And with Coach Jones taking over and then seeing what happened last season, it's easy to say, "Wow, maybe could this team have the times changed?" Not discrediting Jones in his first season and taking over, but the way Helix has to build their team a little bit doesn't matter. They're back to also. I think I'll move them up. I promise. Jesse, 180 yards and 2 touchdowns. You mentioned Allen, not only 157 yards rushing and a touchdown, he also had a sack as well. So did Larcena. So did Gash. So Helix's defense, too, don't forget, even though they allowed 22 points. And it was a pretty thrilling game. Red Mountain kind of came back on him after Helix scored the first 2 touchdowns of the game. But they get the win here. Nice job by the Highlanders in this one. Also mentioned, in addition to those 5 sacks, Jackson, you mentioned Daniels, they had 100 yards receiving, and Gordon Meredith with a touchdown reception as well for the Highlanders. So a good out of state win here over Red Mountain, who ended up in the game really not being able to. They had good balance in the game, but Helix really made some clutch plays in the fourth quarter in this one. All right. There was one other game on Saturday, and I'll just maybe show the score and move on from it a little bit. I want to credit here Scripps Ranch, right? Just when you think that maybe Christian's got some building to do as well, but even with the turnover a little bit that Scripps Ranch had when Coach Gardner's son left and the quarterback, they've got a program there. They'll keep coming up, it seems like right now, especially with Coach G.
Yeah, Coach Gardner, he's been doing a good job with this Scripps Ranch program. I knew Scripps Ranch was going to be a good team, how they played. They almost beat La Jolla. They were like a 2-point conversion away from taking that game into overtime. So you knew there was going to be some fight there. I didn't think they were going to get blanked. I think Christian was going to get blanked, but yeah, Scripps Ranch is a great program. Yeah, I don't know what to say much about Christian. I hope they turn it around. So I like that program. I like the people there.
Yeah, no, this is an uncharacteristic defeat here in this one. Hope things haven't slipped there a little bit, but want to.
Hey, when are you going to put in a word for them to get in the Grossmont Conference? So don't have
well,
to play
that's
these
always
city
been
teams.
talked about, but it just is not. It's something that they're just not able to really work out. I mean, it's been something that it feels like as the years go. I think the ship say when my old boss Bill Dickens was around, that was something that he was kind of actively pushing for. I don't think that's something that is going to be revisited at all, actually. And
that's all right. We'll accept them in the city. If the East County don't want them, the city will embrace them. As
yeah, I mean, it's not like right. I mean, you have to join some conference, and that would be some. Think about they could have some nice games with some of these teams. We've seen Christian match up with teams like Santana. We know the relationship there a little bit as well in the past. So, all right, let's get to your poll this week, the UT poll as well, maybe, and you'll tell us how you voted. Let's show the poll from the UT. Hope you guys can see it. I got to go to the other screen, but Raymond, the top 5 here, as far as the poll is concerned: Lincoln, Carlsbad, Granite, Helix, and Madison. How did you vote?
I think I voted similar. I got Lincoln number 1, Carlsbad number 2, Granite Hills number 3. I think I got Madison number 4, Cathedral number 5. Yeah, I think that's my top 5.
Well, I'm exactly the same, except I have Carlsbad and Lincoln currently reversed. As I think you can see by the they didn't. You retyped. I know that the first place votes obviously had Lincoln there, but look, there's just 8 votes separating the two. So pretty much everybody is 1-2 one way or the other, and it's very close. To me, that feels like a difference of probably just a vote, a couple of votes off. I'm not sure anybody would bump them down from 1 or 2, even though we've seen some other the other rankings the first couple of weeks here. So from there, Mission Hills, Saints, La Costa, El Camino, San Marcos, El Cap, number 12. This is where the East County is getting a lot. For Raymond, I don't know if it's go ahead. I'll make my comment. You comment on this.
I'm sorry. Lincoln has 19 first place votes, and Carlsbad has 11.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. I forgot to put them on there. I'm sorry about that.
No problem. But so it is exactly the 8 voters. Okay. So that still shows Lincoln number 1. So what I will say is the East County actually is getting more respect than, I don't want to say than they deserve. If you go by the computers, nobody half the people are going to buy the computers, the eye test, whatever. East County does not rank as high as this poll would say. And I'm talking about, the computers that people refer to a little bit, the Cal Preps rankings a little bit, the Max Preps, both El Cap and Mount Miguel, I believe, are rated higher than their computer ratings.
Oh, wow. I mean, doesn't this poll prove that they're D1 teams? They're D1 capable?
Oh, great
basically, we're voting on the 10 best teams, right? We're voting on the 10 best teams. The top 4 is the open division, and the next 6 is Division 1. So we're basically
the remainder of it. There's 16 teams.
Yeah.
Right. The top 4 go in, and then the remaining teams play Division 1. But you're saying, like, Mount Miguel, El Cap, teams that aren't in. And here's the thing that's been, I believe, kind of discussed, because you were asking about it, was could they wait? I know there is a major section that does it now, where we just wait till the end of the season to do the seeding for
that's
the playoffs.
That's the way it should be in San Diego, in my opinion. The way the Southern section does it. Mm-hmm. That's the way it should be.
I didn't want to call them out, but you just did.
They're doing it right. They do everything else right. I mean, let's copy what they're doing. They're obviously the stronger section.
Yeah. Well, like you said, if Mount Miguel is head and shoulders above, I think we all love to win championships, but we also like to be challenged a little bit. So in my poll this week, I have Modern Day Catholic much higher than everyone. Same thing as last year. Now, maybe they're not the same team, but I went with those same top 5. I've got Mission Hills. I moved Helix up to number 7. And, well, let's just get to the game previews, maybe, Raymond, because there's going to be something's going to break this week. Like I said, I had La Jolla 17, El Capitan 18, and I've got the Matadors just outside the top 20. That doesn't mean the Matadors aren't in my top 5 and my favorite teams right now. That's for sure. No doubt about it. Okay, let's get to this week's matchups, Raymond. Thank you for your vote this week. And we're going to start with the big one to see. Here it is. I promise I'll vote Helix higher in my poll if they win this one on the road against Madison. Can you go to this one? Hey, get there early. Get there early. Get your parking.
Yeah, this is definitely the game of the. This is going to tell you where Helix is this year as far as San Diego section goes, as far as the rankings. It's gonna be a tough game, man. Madison's playing great. I know they're coming off a tough loss to an out of section team, which I don't count those games because I like to see where teams match up amongst the section. But it's going to be a great competitive game. Madison's defense is great. They got two of the best safeties in the county, in Tololo and Martell Hughes. Hughes is also a great receiver. He's going to get some hard blocks for you. The run game is doing great with Jalen Brown. So they're going to want to run the ball a lot. But Helix is playing lights out too. They got so much exciting athletes. Brandon Arrington, he's a guy that we don't discuss much. I think he's in his sophomore year right now. But he's been making plays under the radar. I'm looking forward to this game. I can't even tell you who I'm going to pick. I still haven't decided yet.
Okay, we'll join you next week. You're going to have to decide, sir.
I'll go with Madison, the close ones. They're at home.
Okay. I will go. I think Madison, I think they can probably win this game. I'll take Helix just to take Helix, to show that I'm going to root for my Highlanders. I'm a Highlander. Look, I've got one computer that says they're a 19-point favorite on a neutral field. I think everyone's familiar with that computer that says the Highlanders. So let's knock off, I don't know, 3 points would make them a 16-point favorite. Let's kind of make it realistic. I can't even if I are kind of like randomly, make the spread small, I still come up with like a 14-point spread. And I got another set of prep power rankings that says that Madison is favored by 3 points. That seems a little bit more realistic to me. You've got two top 10 teams. You got Madison at home in this one. Maybe I have Helix underrated, but we just went over your poll with Helix ahead of Madison in the rankings, but they are on the road. So you're right, Raymond. It's a toss up, I would guess, at this point. But I'll go with the Highlanders. I'm going to root for my Highlanders, and I'll just pick them here to get it done. But it does feel like, look, we saw incredible games with Granite and Madison kind of coming down the wire. It feels like this one could be coming down to the wire as well this week in the matchup of the week. Highlanders and Warhawks. Wow, great one.
Yeah, this is going to be an open division eliminator right here.
Oh, really? Okay, let's give me a minute on that if you can. Is there no way that the loser of this game can fight their way back in?
They will have to run the table, especially Madison. If Madison loses this game, they would have to beat Cathedral and Lincoln to even have a chance.
Okay.
If Helix loses, they'll have to run the table and beat Granite Hills.
Beat Granite, sure.
Which will also be an eliminator. Because I don't think they both get in unless it's a one-loss situation, but as far as both of them.
Okay, and the one.
But yeah, this is definitely gonna be gonna help the computers decide the top four. It's gonna be one of those games.
Okay, Raymond Brown, SDFootball.net got this one as a playoff game in the regular season.
Facts.
All right, it does feel that way. Granite Hills is going on. This would have been look. He's like done okay. They're trying to battle back here.
This will not be an open division eliminator.
Well, I just
unless Granite Hills lose, they'll be eliminated.
Yeah, no, Granite Hills will not lose this one right now the way they're going. But let's not get too cocky here in this one. Still, it's just not the same East Lake group right now. So I'm going to take Granite in this one certainly. But we'd like to see East Lake, be a little bit more East Lake like. In this matchup, I'm sure that's not necessarily what Granite Hills had expected here, but you got to think they're at least 4 touchdown favorites.
Yeah, I got Granite Hills winning this one. I don't know what's going on at East Lake, but I hope they turn it around soon. I think Granite Hills went down there last year and had a decisive win. So I can see the same thing happening this year.
All right. The East County game of the week, right? We can't Helix and Madison. That's the county game of the week. This is the East County game of the week. This might be the East County game of the year right now, with Mount Miguel going on to beat Grossmont. Man, Matt Grossmont ruined our plans, Raymond, for a pair of 3-0 teams to go at it. But I think you're going to go out to this one because I'm going to put you on the spot again. It's going to be tough to pick a winner. I know the Mount Miguel's got all that momentum. They've entered the top 15 of the UT. Everything's coming up. Roses here for Mount Miguel. It's awesome, but still impressed by Grossmont and their turnaround despite the loss last week. You kind of look at the rankings in this one. I don't think the computers have quite caught up. They're starting to. The Mount Miguel numbers are going up pretty rapidly, and I imagine that they'll continue to the computerized ratings anyway will continue to climb here with the Matadors. They might be underrated in the computers because that's just the way it works. Those numbers are always a little bit behind because they take into account a sample size, a little bit of a sample from maybe the team wasn't as good last year. Great year, Mount Miguel, no doubt. This is different.
This is going to be Mount Miguel's toughest game, but I think they win this one too. But the same way PVV was a trap game for Grossmont, this could be a trap game for Mount Miguel. I still love what I see from Grossmont, man. They got a bunch of great players who can make some plays. They might get up for this one, seeing all the hype that Mount Miguel is getting, and they just came from a disappointing loss, so they want to bounce back. But I got Mount Miguel winning this one decisively.
Yeah, I got to take Mount Miguel. I mean, the old computers got them by 4 or 5 touchdowns for sure in this one. I do want to give
this will be the toughest game they've played yet. I will assure you that.
Yeah, I'm hyping up Grossmont because I just think it's great that they've been able to bounce back right away from a season that really caught everybody by surprise for this program, and I want to give them a little bit of chance here just because they're the bigger school. I'm not sure of the size of the rosters and the depth, but I might still favor Gross. I know Mount Miguel's had a big increase in their numbers. I mean, they're probably lining up to try to get on the field there at this point with Mount Miguel. Also, don't forget this, Raymond. Mount Miguel has they've said, and I think the other analysts have pointed out too, I heard it on the Pigskin last Friday, they have players coming. They have transfers that have sat out, as many as maybe as half a dozen or more players that could step into roles on this team right away, making this team even more dangerous moving forward. So I don't know if, who they are, where they came from or what, but that's how it works nowadays. And
I was told by an anonymous but reliable source that they have like 9 starting caliber players that haven't played yet. So I think the best is yet to come for this Mount Miguel team.
Oh,
that's
boy.
True.
Well, that sounds great. And Mount Miguel probably should get it done here. I just think the progression hasn't been as dramatic over at Grossmont right now, even though it's feeling good at this point. So, hey, I want to welcome our first commenter, and it's a good comment. So let's go ahead and show it since we're talking about Grossmont. What about PVV? Raymond, you mentioned them earlier, but since they were so nice to make a comment, even though it's not one of our teams, I don't know. I kind of have an affinity for the Imperial Valley when I kind of cover teams a little bit. Since I'm East County, I kind of go more east and kind of because those teams don't get the love and they're in our section, even though they have their own community reporters out there and everything. So, yeah, I think you already pumped up PVV, but maybe give Figmunity some love here. We know the Yellow Jackets got a great program.
Oh, yeah, they're not back-to-back CIF champions for nothing. That offense is nearly unstoppable. They have great players, a big offensive line. They're going to be a team to watch in D3. So if you're Division 3, man, be careful. PVV is coming.
And we don't have a lot of traction for live comments, so we do appreciate that. Most of our looks are getting on replays, but we're here filming live. So please feel free to comment on YouTube or Facebook. And, hey, Raymond and I will answer any questions you might have. All right, another great game here with the resurgence of Fallbrook coming on and taking on Santana. It looks like they can't be beat at this point. It's not pretty. Well, it is pretty. It's a thing of beauty the way Santana's winning. You just got to like that style at this point. It's funny. They have some explosive players on offense. They scored 18 points against Coronado. Good job. Going up against Fallbrook this week. And like I said, Fallbrook doing a nice job here, kind of bringing back some of the glory.
Yeah, it's good to see Fallbrook back in the mix. They were what were they, D4 finalists last year. They lost to PVV, ironically, but it's going to be a tough game. It's hard to win out there at Fallbrook, but I got Santana pulling this off. They can just get that run game going and protect the ball. I think they got a chance here.
Yeah, for sure. The computers rate this one, Raymond, very closely in this one this week. I think they've got it as a neutral, as a 1-point game, according to the Cal Preps.
Sounds about right.
If anything, that throw on. I'm not totally a 3-point guy in a high school game for home field, but I don't think it's terribly out of the question to make Fallbrook a slight favorite here. It just feels like the way these teams match up feels like, can I take the under here, Raymond? I have a feeling this is going to be a low score.
Yeah, take the under. It's going to be, I can see this game being one of those grinded out games. That's highlighted by defense. I think the team that plays the best defense is going to win this one.
For sure. Okay, I want to highlight here the other team in Santee because they keep getting it done as well. We mentioned the 7-3 victory, great defense, and now they're going to take on Patrick Henry here, and bummer for Patrick Henry. Boy, a little bit of a fall off here. Tell me, I know you follow the Patriots pretty good. Can you tell me what's going on here? And I feel like West Hills will win, but bummer, Patrick Henry.
Yeah, they lost a lot of great players to graduation. The team that that went to the CIF championship and won, they're no longer there. I think they got a new coach. It's just they're just rebuilding right now. So it's going to be a slow and steady pace, but hopefully they turn it around soon. But yeah, they've lost a lot. Caprice Presley, he's at Mount Miguel now. He was one of the standouts for that team last year.
Good point.
So yeah, they lost a lot, and they're going to have a lot of rebuilding to do. So yeah, I give this one to West Hills. Kyler Oberger's playing great. Is it Orberg?
Yeah, Kyler Oberg.
And Colin Dill's playing great. It's gonna be a tough game at the blue turf for Patrick Henry.
I was trying to interpret the stats. Coach asked, send me your stats. Didn't get them last week, and the stats on Max Preps had a linebacker going 8 for 9. I figured that was Hamilton, but wasn't sure. So maybe
The linebacker need to play quarterback.
Well, I'm just teasing these guys. I just would wish that everyone was cool on entering their stats. That'd be a lot easier to kind of pass along. It makes for a better show when we have something. I'm watching the games as best I can, but it's hard to take stats off of a camera when the thing doesn't even follow the ball all the way down the long passes. But shout out to everyone who's a couple of schools that have fixed their NFHS cameras this year as well to make them.
Yeah, I like those drone cameras.
Back
they
up.
just follow the ball a little bit better. I think they got to go in and program the AI a little more or something.
Yeah, the long
those cameras were great.
The long pass is really where it only has a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, it follows the I'm pretty sure what it does is it zooms in on the most movement, but also maybe has a part of the AI that will follow the ball. Because when the long pass goes down, it'll start to move. But if the quarterback has a really good arm, he'll overthrow it. And that it makes it kind of funny, actually, because the plays down, it's out of sight, and you just have to look for the cheering, and you see the players running down. So that's kind of a little bit of but that's where I'm at. I'm watching these games, trying to watch more here, as many as I can, in this one. Okay. Next up, let's see here. I'm going to go with this one next. I know we got a big East County matchup I want to talk about, but just want to talk about the Braves because this is a tough matchup here with Montgomery. So in this one, the Braves on the road. I have a feeling the Braves might be the better team here, but we've seen Montgomery against an East County team already. What do you think in this one?
Yeah, that's going to be a tough game against Montgomery. I mean, I know it's hard to say seeing they got blanked 40-0 by Mount Miguel, but Montgomery has some great players on their team. They got a great lineman in Mario Corrales. He's gonna make some big plays. I don't know. This one's tough. I'm gonna go with Montgomery though.
All right.
I like the way ECV is playing right now. They're on a rise. They're gonna have a great season, but if they win this one, it's going to be close. It's going to be a gritty, a grind. It's going to be a grind.
I think the Braves, they were somewhat competitive with the Matadors over the last couple of seasons, as the Matadors have been, like we said, they've been decent. They've been good. They were good. They were good offensively. And the Braves, we know, had already been kind of undergoing a bit of a resurgence. The computer here has the Braves a 2-point favorite on a neutral. So I think that kind of makes it just simply kind of a toss-up going in to this one. But another set of rankings has the Braves maybe a touchdown favorite. I'll have to take the Braves. And we'll go a little challenge here in this one. Thank you for your comments. Big Munities with us there. Raymond making some predictions with us, so appreciate that. And one of our media guys, shout out to Vanilla Gorilla, calling out the Smurf turf. Raymond, little known fact, up to several dozen birds have end up dying every year diving into the West Hills. Is really sad. The Audubon Society's gotten
Boise State had that same problem. They had ducks like thinking it was water, and they would dive down there and they would die.
We've turned into amateur.
I didn't know that was true. I thought it was just a rumor.
I thought
wow, that's happened at West Hills.
I don't know. I've turned this into amateur hour. I'm wasting your valuable
it's all
time.
Good. No, you're good.
Right. El Capitan at no, it's the other way around, right? This game is at. I think I have the site wrong.
It's at El Cap.
Yeah, you're right. Because I just typed it in wrong. Because if it was at look, El Capitan should win this game. This is the matchup kind of we've wanted to see in years past, and we get it now here with Steel Canyon and El Capitan. I'm not discounting Steel Canyon's chances here at all, given their size of the program, their depth as well, their good line. I have a feeling that this is going to be pretty competitive.
This could be a trap game for El Cap if they don't watch it. I think if Steel Canyon can get their run game going, just get behind that O-line, which is monster, which is the best part of their team, in my opinion. They can just grind it out. I think they can pull off an upset, but I don't see it happening. El Cap is too explosive on offense, too many playmakers on defense, and they're at home. Great atmosphere over there in Lakeside. Yeah, I got El Cap winning. Probably like 3 touchdowns.
Oh, thanks, Fig. Just great comments. Could have Fig here with us making predictions. He took the Braves by 2 touchdowns. He says El Cap, the real. I think for their level, they're the real deal. But again, like I said, that was a great comeback last week. Took advantage of that situation. La Chapa, great year, great season. Like I said, Barker, please be careful with those picks. Steel Canyon's going to have some defense there, certainly. So La Chapa, he was kind of slowed there by the Vikings, I thought, a little bit early in the game, and then they got off pretty good. So I'll take El Capitan as well. Olympian and Valhalla. Raymond, this is great. Okay, now let's not give the win necessarily to Valhalla just because they're at home. Olympians 1-2, they're an okay team. But for Valhalla, Raymond, this could be big news because it's been quite a while since Valhalla. I mentioned their 2-game winning streak. You can go back even further to find a 3-game winning streak, you got to go back all the way to that great 2016 season when they went 8-3 to find 3 successive victories for the Norsemen.
Yeah, Valhalla's playing great right now. They're running the ball well with Dominic Silva, and Cruz is playing well on both sides of the ball. Like I said, man, they got to clean up those turnovers. Every team ain't gonna bail you out like San Ysidro does. So I know they emphasized on that this week. I know the coach got on them for that, so I don't have to say much. But I think if Valhalla could play a clean game, they can get another win here.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Look at the computer ranking between these two teams. Definitely has Valhalla about a touchdown favorite here, so I think they'll win this game against Olympian.
Olympian has a great squad. They got some great athletes on that team, so they don't sleep on them.
Great.
It should be a competitive game. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to another Valhalla victory. And I also want to shout out Coach Cherry with that Thor hat. I'd like to give me one of those, Raymond. That was sweet.
Oh, yeah, I like that hat. That hat was pretty tough.
Or the
Thor's
hammer.
The Thor's hammer. Valhalla, yeah.
That would be the best seller, I think. All right. Well, this is unusual. Seeing Christian 1-2 going up against 0-3 Santa Fe Christian. Usually, when these two teams meet, you're going to see the records reversed. 3-0 against 2-1, probably. This is a great rivalry that these two teams have had for many years. This rivalry is full of upsets. So I have a feeling Christian still, maybe it's a toss-up. Maybe they're an underdog here, but these programs are familiar with each other for sure.
Yeah, they played in the CIF championship at Mesa College. I want to say it was 2011 or 2012. One of those years I was there. Yeah, that's when I first started doing this. But it's going to be a great competitive game. Santa Fe Christian, they usually have some great teams over there. I know it's a little small private school, but they usually have some great players, great athletes, play some competitive games. Christian, they need this win. They want to earn a little bit more respect. Wow, it's gonna be a tough road game. I'm gonna go with Christian. I think they could pull it off.
Well, they better. The Cal Preps computer has Santa Fe Christian by about a touchdown. They also list as a low-scoring game. I don't know. There might be. I think they listed at 29 points total. I think they can get over that in this one. But like I said, this series has been full of upsets, so why couldn't the Patriots go in there? I thought last week's the result was a bit stunning for me to see Christian, lose by 37 points to Scripps. So I don't know. I didn't see enough of the game or information about the game to know if there was some other underlying situation with Christian that made it so they weren't competitive in that game. Scripps is a very good program, no doubt, but Christian usually is able to compete against teams like Scripps Ranch. So just a little bit concerning there with the Patriots. Okay, here's the much hyped matchup in this one, Raymond. What are you going to do? I'm going to take the Monarchs. I think they can go in and get a victory against San Ysidro, but I know it's I'm sure the Cougars are actually probably favored.
Man, I want to pick Monte Vista so bad, and I wouldn't be mad if they won, but I got to go with San Ysidro. They put up a great fight against Valhalla, even though it's a blowout. They did beat a Hoover team that's explosive offensively, and they held them to 8 points. So just judging off that, the way they fought Valhalla, I think they're gonna win this one. That's a team that's like not as good. That their record just don't reflect them. San Ysidro is just full of fighters, full of playmakers. I think they're gonna get it done this time. They can't be happy about the way last week happened. But I'd be happy for Monte Vista if they can break that streak, though. But I don't see them doing it this week.
I like Fig coming in with the projections. Fig Munity Clips. It feels like
Keep
a
it up,
media. It feels like we need to get Fig out there shooting us some games. Fig, shoot me a text. Hey, I think border down. I think that means San Ysidro. I think that's like a saying they might use down there, and that I'm gonna
Excellent view of the border. Excellent view of Mexico sitting in the stands. I just love that campus, man. Beautiful
Mhm.
campus, beautiful atmosphere. It was a vibe. Got the Mexican music playing in the background. I had a great time there.
Well, funny. I was going to actually mention to you off the air, but I do it now just to make a little funny. Raymond, be careful. We don't get those YouTube videos flagged.
Oh yeah, the
for
copyrighted. Yeah,
copyrights.
copyrighted. I was afraid of that too, but
Yeah,
I
they
was
were
hoping
playing
the
that very
voice
popular
overshadowed.
song with the teams, that famous song, a very
I
popular
think I got a copyright coming too. So.
pop song. They don't take it down. They just, if you were to go on and make $1 million with the video between
Oh yeah, they'll claim it.
Dan Ysidro and Valhalla, they might take some of it. It might go viral, maybe for Jalen Cruz's 99-yard touchdown. You might end
Yeah.
up with 1 million hits tomorrow. But anyways, he goes with big victory. I don't think so. I think Monte Vista hangs in there. I'll take them because I said I would. The Max Preps computer has the Monarchs a 3-point favorite on a neutral, so you could call it a toss-up here. I would say Monte Vista with that losing streak is an underdog. But like I said, they're hanging in every game. There's no reason why. If they know they can compete with Valhalla, Monte Vista knows that. Even if Valhalla has moved ahead here, it looks like this season a little bit. Remember, Monte Vista has been competitive in all 3 games into the fourth quarter. I think you're going to get a game that will be a one-score game in the fourth quarter here between these two, or 2 scores with Monte Vista having a chance to pull to within a score. And we know Monte Vista's one of those teams, kind of like the Braves too. A lot of onside kicks, Raymond. We score, we're kicking an onside kick every time.
Oh,
All
you
right,
gotta steal those possessions.
I think I wrapped it up. Do you have any other? Oh, I got one other. I was going to mention the Foothills Christian game. Did I miss any others? We got them all?
I think so.
Powell Academy against Foothills Christian here at Sayal Field. Check this one out. 8-man football. Don't know too much about the Knights this year. They don't do. We know we've mentioned some of their statistics, and Hernandez is having a strong year as well. I will mention this for Coach Joe Mackey. He achieved career win number 50 in the Knights last game. Congratulations to Coach Mackey, who is one of the best coaches in the county, as far as I'm concerned. He coaches 8-man football. He's been there several years now, doing a great job. Okay, did we get them all, Raymond?
I believe so.
All right. Appreciate you very much. Great job. Thank you to Fig as well, and Vanilla Gorilla. He'll be out there again this week, probably shooting some games for us. And great job. So let's wrap it up here. We'll catch you again next week. Raymond, you're going to head out this week. Mount Miguel and Grossmont?
That's what it's looking like, but I wouldn't know till Friday.
Okay,
but I'll have those. You know what to do. Check your email Friday night.
Let's not tip your hand. Let's not tip your hand. Let's not tell. But appreciate you very much for joining me again. And of course, we know where we can. Us football fans in the county. I think we all know where we can find you. But let us know what's going on at sdfootball.net.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some highlights for you. Hopefully on Thursday and Friday. Player of the week. So if you put up some good stats, some good numbers, you have a great game, send me an email. Spam my email. Don't be a stranger. Spam my email, stats, highlights, any information I could use to make sure you make that list. Because there's so many athletes out here. There's like 80 teams, thousands of players who are starters, who are good. So I can't see everything. So the more y'all send me the information, the better I can promote you guys.
Well,
so
that's right.
That's coming up.
Yeah, that's so key, right? I mean, that's why I keep making the little hints and jokes a little bit. I just would love to hear from the teams a little bit and give some great stats. So let's thank you for saying that, Raymond. Let me do a solid here, and I do want to put that up actually on. That's part of our format showing the players of the week. So we're just getting our show started this year, and let me at least show your players of the week here. I don't know if you want to. I'll read off maybe the East County guys, and maybe if you have any others around the county that you wanted to talk about, take a look at these top-notch players this week. These were Raymond's top stars this week, including East County players. Kevin Allen. There's Cameron Brown. We shouted him out as well. Also, Davion McGowan of Mount Miguel. Also, Dominic Silva makes it again for your top players this week. And how about the honorable mentions? See the Norseman? Yeah, I see the Norseman right there. Jalen Cruz with that big game, including the 99-yarder. Castillo, 3 touchdowns. Benson, 30 carries. Jackson Daniels, big game, 100 yards receiving. Danny DeGraff of Santana. Tell me about Danny, Raymond.
I don't have his stats on me, but I think he had he had a couple of sacks. I think he led his team in tackles. He had a great game. If he's on the honorable mention list, he had a great game. And he shut out Coronado. So I know he had his play had a lot to do with that. So shout out to DeGraff.
Great. Not a name I've seen so far. So I'm very interested in him, and I'm interested in all the Sultans. I certainly would like to hear a little bit more about them. They're a team I just don't have as much information on. Dubose, Hayes is up there as well. Pablo Jackson, making fun of everyone's hands. Brendan Lewis, our breakout star right now. I think Julian May, also big game. Caprice Presley, and Gavin Taylor, defensive back from El Capitan. Raymond, can you give me a little on him?
I don't have that information on me. I usually keep the stats at a top 23. But yeah, he had a great game. I think he had a pick. Might have had a couple of tackles. He did pretty good.
Thank you. Great. Well, made your list there, and you'll be running this list every week. So appreciate it very much. Thank you again for joining me. We'll catch up with you again next week. All right. For Raymond Brown, I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us on the East County Football Report.